Solving using the square root property just means solving. We're eventually going to have to take the square root of both sides. In this first one here, it looks like I can actually factor out an 8 first. So if you ever have a GCF, factor it out. That'll be very helpful. Alright, now you can look at this in a couple different ways. I'm going to look at this as, since we're using the square root property and not the zero product property, I'm actually going to divide both sides by 8. And now we're just going to be left with x squared plus 9 equals 0. And I'm going to subtract 9 on both sides and get x squared equals negative 9. Now we're going to use the square root property because I have x squared by itself, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And when I take the square root of x squared, I get x. And whenever you take a square root, you want to make sure that you include both solutions, positive and negative. The square root of 9 is 3, but since it's negative 9, it's 3i. So those are our two solutions there. Yes, there's another way you could solve this. You could first subtract 72 from both sides. Either way, you're going to get plus or minus 3i as your solutions. Okay, on the right-hand side here, we do have the squared term alone already, so we can actually first take the square root of both sides. And we can do this because x plus 11 is entirely in parentheses, and that entire thing is being squared. So when we square root that, we're just left with x plus 11. It's that simple. And that's going to equal the square root of 40. Now we know we can break apart square roots. I'm going to break this down into the square root of 4 and the square root of 10. And so we're going to get plus or minus always 2 square root 10. Okay, on this side we still have x plus 11 equals that. X plus 11 equals that. We want to get x by itself, so we're going to subtract 11 from both sides. And since this is like a whole lot going on right here, I'm actually going to write the negative 11 first, just like this. Negative 11 first, then the plus or minus 2 square root 10. Yes, this answer looks messy, but it is correct. And this is how a lot of times the books will write it. They'll put the plus or minus whatever thing second, so it's easier to write out. We can't simplify that at all, and that is our final answer.